Hey yo, welcome into CHGO Bets Daily, coming to you live from Studio B of our CHGO offices here in the West Loop of Chicago. I'm your host, Sean Anderson. Follow me at Sean_W_Anderson. Alongside me, I've missed him. He's my partner in degeneracy, Cody Delmendo. You can follow him at Cody_CHGO.
Correct.
I haven't done that in a bit.
You look nice and fluffy today.
Thank you. You look nice and black.
Yeah,
but
that's how my heart feels right now.
You're just wearing all black. I mean, it's been a tough 5 games.
Yeah,
it's 5 straight losing streak.
Yeah,
got the Pirates going to town.
Yeah.
Okay, so we won't talk about the Cubs too much. We're mostly going to talk about college football. Yay, college football, Cody. Did you have a good weekend with college football?
I want to say it came out pretty even, but it was always the over between Colorado State and Colorado. That was incredible. That was absolutely, and I wanted to take Colorado State to cover because everyone was hyping Colorado up after what the coach for Colorado State said about Deion Sanders and his sunglasses and his hat, and everyone on game day, all the national media was like, Colorado's gonna freaking destroy them because of this chip on their shoulder that they magically have. And then Colorado State took them to 2 overtimes. I was so mad that I didn't.
Somebody took them to cover. It was me.
Did you?
No.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did it.
That was smart. I wanted to do it, and I couldn't find myself to do it. And but I did take the over, and it was a sweat, and we needed the overtimes to do it. But we got it done, and I'm telling you, it was always the over. Also, Wyoming plus 29.5 against Texas.
Yeah, that was a crazy game, too. I mean, Wyoming is a wagon. If you think you're going to go into Laramie and just push the Cowboys around, you're wrong.
Well, they beat Texas Tech. To see them 29-point dogs against Texas. I know Texas beat Alabama, but has Alabama done anything to impress us yet this year? Not really.
Well, and then I was like, "There's
and
no
quarterback situation." So.
I heard that they were selling out the top rows of the USF Dome. Like they said that I thought Alabama was all heading down to South Florida to go cheer on the Crimson Tide. Man, they almost lost that fucking game.
Yeah,
I mean that was ugly.
It was ugly.
So I mean, hey, last week was horrific. I was on Colorado in the first half. Mm-hmm. I'm happy that it's a new week. Thank God Steven and I saved yesterday with Monday Night Football because NFL was bad as well.
I've went even yesterday. I had Steelers money line. I had the under in Carolina and the Saints. I also took the under in Steelers Browns, which can't believe it went over. I was so surprised.
Especially after Chubb got injured.
Yeah. And I went 2-1-1 because Carolina backdoor pushed. And I'll take a push more than a loss. So, yeah. So, you want to hear some bad losses?
Of course.
Finally, Iowa hit an over. I mean, that was annoying. And they purposely tried to do it, too, because it was a blowout at the end. And I was watching on Gamecast when I was at Chase Field, and those motherfuckers, they were like, the boosters probably put all this money on us to do this week, and we have to do this, and we have to cover. And it was...
The thing that most annoyed me is the next day or Monday, there was a fake video of Brian Ferentz saying, ha, we scored 41, like, all you haters can kiss my ass. Yeah. And I believed it. I wasn't watching the video. Yeah. Apparently, they're playing Penn State. Their over-under, their team total is 13.5. We are absolutely hammering it under. There is no way Iowa is scoring 14 points against Penn State. Period. Yeah. The fact that they got 41, they should count their lucky stars. I am so pissed about it, too, because I took it live, Central Michigan, after they scored the touchdown. Western Michigan, my bad.
It's a Michigan.
Yeah, it's one of them. I took them after that first touchdown. I was like, Iowa's going to choke this.
Yeah.
They didn't, but...
Western Michigan,
That defense is annoying for Iowa.
They covered for half, and I was like, and the only reason that I'm always going to take whoever in these massive like spreads against Iowa just play so slow, man. They play so slow. And Cade McNamara, I watched him enough at Michigan. Like, he's better than Spencer Petras, but like, I don't know what anyone in Iowa City thinks that if they think that he's going to make any of a bigger difference there. To me, like, they're a tight end school, and that's about it. Like, I don't know.
Even then, like, do you even have a tight end on this team?
Well, I just know Laporta got drafted somewhere recently.
Yeah, he's on the Lions.
He's on the Lions.
Yeah, actually had a really good week too.
Yeah, so
Hawkinson.
Yeah, they're a tight end school.
Kittle.
They're like Notre Dame, just like all white tight ends. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got one in our city too.
Yeah, we do.
So
anyway, I think I went pretty even on college football for the week.
And I'm excited for a new week because too. I mean, like, you even see how Georgia, like, what they were 26-point favorites, and Spencer Rattler.
Oh, yeah, I had the over in that game, and that didn't happen.
Florida State almost choked to Boston College as well.
Glad I stayed away.
Yeah. So, and the only team that I think had a comfortable weekend was Ohio State, which I took Western Kentucky, and oh boy, they figured that one out. Let's start with one game. I know you got some early college football bets. You got a hit parlay for the Cubs game. But first up, Ohio State and Notre Dame. We'll probably touch on this on Thursday as well for Big Ten After Dark. But I got to play in this game, and of course, it's kind of the region with Notre Dame and Ohio State. I'm not buying into Ohio State after that win. Kyle McCord looked good, but Western Kentucky also is Western Kentucky from the Sun Belt. And there was a stat from Tom Fornelli. Most touchdowns from outside the red zone this year. Notre Dame leads the NCAA with 12. Ohio State is like tied for fourth with 10. That just tells me that McCord and Hartman, two guys that are new to these teams, McCord really hasn't really even had a full 3 games at quarterback, and Hartman hasn't faced a defense like Ohio State. I think both of these teams will struggle to score in the red zone, so we're going to take the under of 55 in this game. There's a projected total from Parker Fleming on Twitter at StatsOWar, STAST. War. He has projected points for Ohio State being around 27 points, and the projected points for Notre Dame being around 23. That's a total of 50. So we're getting a line that's, basically about 5 points short. I usually think this works out, and usually the smart bets that I put a lot of time and effort in trying to find the best number lose. So go fade me. They're probably going to score.
Take it now. If you're going to bet it, take it now because it opened at 63.5.
Oh, did it really?
Yes, it opened at 63.5, and it's down to 55 on DraftKings. On BetMGM, it's down to 54.5. At FanDuel, it's at 55.5. So it's right around 55. On most sports books. But yeah, opened at 63.5.
Why did it drop so much? Is it a weather thing or?
No, because the offenses aren't that good.
That's a big drop.
I think Notre Dame's offense
because Sharp Money hammered under.
But
If I saw that at 63, I'd be hammering it too.
Ohio State's offense has kind of been like they really struggled against Indiana. I know that was week 1 or week 0, whatever it was. They have been better since that game. But yeah, no, this game will be interesting. This is Notre Dame's, like, if they win this game, I think that they could be in play for the college football playoff. I know we all like to make fun of the fact that they play like they're an independent school. They don't want to join a conference, but their schedule this year is tough. They have to play Ohio State. They have to play USC. Plenty of other good schools too. So their schedule is tough. If they win this game, I think it cements them or it starts the cementing of them getting into that college football playoff. I've faded them on the spread a few times and it hasn't worked out for me. So I don't know how I'm going to play this one yet, but I do like the under considering it just keeps dropping. And if you want to play the under like Sean says, I think taking it now is the best bet because it might continue to drop.
Yeah, I honestly thought 55 was way too high, and now that you're saying it was starting at 63.5 makes me sick.
According to Action Network, it opened at 63.5.
I believe you.
So.
But yeah, I mean, hey, sharp money. I mean, and then once they raise those limits, like, I mean, you what those numbers are, there's the look ahead numbers, and then I think the actual betting numbers open on Sunday. And then, each day limits get raised more and more by these sports books, and sharp bettors just go in and be like, hey, I'll put $1,000 on the under, and the line gets moved. And basically it's weird guys in trench coats with, thousands of dollars in their pocket walking up and saying, I have a mathematical formulation that says the under is going to work in Notre Dame and Ohio State, and sportsbook, et cetera, says, okay, we'll take your money. And then they lower their price because, weirdo in a trench coat just put $1,000 on a fucking under.
Right.
Anyways, you could put $1,000 on an under with DraftKings Sportsbook. You could also bet like $1. We're back with another week of football, and DraftKings Sportsbook is keeping us in the NFL action, also the college football action, with great offers every single day. New customers can bet $5 and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Throw $5 down on any of this week's epic matchups to walk away with an instant winner. And DraftKings isn't stopping there. All customers can take advantage of 2 new offers every game day this September. Football's more fun when you're in on the action, so download the app now and sign up with code CHGO. New customers can bet just $5 to get $200 instantly in bonus bets, only on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, with code CHGO. The crown is yours. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem when gambling. Call 888-789-777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino Resort, Kansas. Licensed partner Gold Nugget Lake Charles in Louisiana. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/football. Terms for eligibility, terms and responsible gambling resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Should I also read disclaimer verbatim, or did I just do that?
I think you just did that.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, you got some early bets for us?
Yes. And they're all 3 are just disgusting, but
hell yes,
I love them.
I wouldn't have it any other way with college football.
We were just talking about Iowa. Well, let's go to Ames. All right, Iowa State's hosting Oklahoma State this Saturday. Both in their last 10 games, and I know rosters are different now, but both in their last 10 games are 9-1 on the under. 9-1. Both are 3-0 on the under to start the year. And Iowa State scored 7 points against Ohio on Saturday. Shout out Curtis Rourke, our guy from Ohio.
Our guy.
That we loved during bowl season last year.
Ohio is a wagon.
So Iowa State, they scored 7 against Ohio last week. Against Iowa, they scored 13. And the one game that they won against Northern Iowa, they put up 30, allowed 9. So their defense has been very good. They lost 7-10, they lost 20-13, and then the one game they won against an FCS school, they only allowed 9 points. So their defense is there. They have no problem on defense. It's their offense that doesn't know how to do anything against Power 5 schools. And Oklahoma State, meanwhile, they just lost 33-7 to South Alabama from the Fun Belt, as some like to call it. They've put up 7 last week, and then the 2 previous games they put up 27. One was Arizona State, and they won that game, and then the other was like an FCS school. So either way, 3 unders for both schools to start the year. They both offenses are not good. It's 36.5. It's disgusting.
You see Matt Campbell was running into the halftime locker room, and some Iowa State fans said, "You're on the hot seat," and they tried to fight him.
No, I did not.
So Matt Campbell's not in a good headspace.
Well, it's a Big 12 game, and taking an under in a Big 12 matchup is not necessarily the smartest thing to do, but I just think both these offenses are just so bad that I know 36.5 is so low, but shit, when Iowa State and Iowa played 2 weeks ago, the total was 34.5, and it still went under, folks. It still went under, all right? So hammer the under while you still can. I could see it increasing just because the total gets so low. Get it while you can. It hasn't moved yet, according to Action Network.
Do you know what the saying is when you have 2 quarterbacks? When you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks?
No.
What's the saying then when you have 3 quarterbacks? Because Oklahoma State has 3 fucking quarterbacks they use in a game.
Yeah.
I mean, they're Gunnar Gunderson or Gunnar Gundy is getting thrown out there because he's the
son.
Yeah, well, he's the Roman Roy of Oklahoma State football.
Right. All right. Next game. It's a little bit more fun. UCLA and Utah under 51.5. Opened at 54.5. It's down to 51.5. Cam Rising. It's still possible that he might finally make his season debut this week. But Utah's 3-0 on the under this year. They've just grinded games out. And I think since they're hosting UCLA at home, where I've talked about before, they dominate at home. They dominated Florida at home week 1. It's a Pac-12 game, so I'm a little scared. But, again, open at 54.5 and it's down to 51.5. Even if Cam Rising does play, I still like the under because he's coming off the ACL injury. Hasn't played in a game in months. So I like Utah's defense, and I think Cam Rising will be rusty, at least for a half. That will probably help that total stay under. Give me the under 51.5. And then finally, Texas and Baylor under 51.5. I believe, let me look it up. I don't remember where it opened. Hold on. Okay, no, it hasn't moved at all. It's at 51.5 on every book right now. The reason I like it is Blake is it Shapen or Shapen? Blake Shapen? Blake Shapen,
I think.
Blake Shapen is going to be out again this week for Baylor. Now, Baylor won last week against a school that's not very good. LIU, FCS school, I guess you could say. They won 30-7. Their defense is very good, but I took the under between Baylor and Utah 2 weeks ago. That total was 46. They lost 20-13. I think that this game could be a lot like what we saw between Wyoming and Texas, where Wyoming hung around for about 3 quarters and then Texas took over. I just like Baylor's defense. They've played well defensively, but without their starting quarterback, I don't feel good about their offense. So I could see Texas even blowing them out. But will Baylor put up points with that Texas defense? I'm not sure. So 51.5, I think, is a lot of points whenever one of those teams has their backup going. And in the few weeks that they've played, I haven't really been impressed by anyone not named Blake Shapen under center. So those are the three unders I like to start this week for college football.
The one other one that I'm leaning, and I'm not sure if it's moved, if you can check me, for Colorado and Oregon. This one's going at 2:30, Colorado at Oregon. I think that
it's only gone up. The total has only gone up.
Okay.
It's at 71.
It's gone up with Travis Hunter not playing.
Yeah, it's 71.5.
Well, that defense just gets so much worse.
Yeah.
Bo Nix is just going to throw all over him. I am going to take, and I believe, and I'm so sorry because I know we just read a DraftKings read. I'm going to take the over of 45.5 and minus 104 for Oregon. If it's going to keep going up and only going to keep going up, Oregon's probably just going to hang about 70 points by themselves on Colorado. They have to at least, because Dan Lanning's already talking about them a week before they're not even done with Hawaii, and he's talking about Colorado. With Travis Hunter being out, with what we just saw from Colorado State giving Colorado a test, this is the first true great team that Colorado's facing. It might get ugly, but it also might get,
TCU
sucks.
They were pretty good last year.
Yeah, that was last year.
Yeah,
this is this year.
Well, they're
still good.
The week
Living
one,
in the past,
the week 1 game, they did run out their actual starting quarterback, not Max Duggan. So I like the over just because both teams like to score points, and Colorado likes to give up points.
I'm just unsure about the spread being 21. Feels a little too high.
It opened at 15.
I think Oregon.
15.
I think Oregon scores 50. So I'll take the over of 45.5.
That 21 is tough. Like, if you could have got it at like 20, that way you get that 3 touchdowns. Because, like, that's how how Georgia Southern screwed me this weekend against Wisconsin. I had them plus 20. I had Georgia Southern plus 20.5, and they lost by 21. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I like the over. I think there's going to be a lot of points in that game. Unfortunately, it's not at 9 p.m., so I can't call it a Pac-12 after dark, 80-point game, but you know how the Pac-12 is. They like to score points, and they like to play fast. And I will say that if Colorado we already have questions about Colorado's defense, especially after last week, and now they have to go up and play against a fast-paced Oregon team, and if Travis Hunter doesn't play, then I think the over is definitely worth the play.
Kind of off topic here, but I was talking to my friend about this. Should we be looking at Shedeur Sanders as a possible Heisman candidate?
Nope.
Oh, for sure. I got
two different answers here.
It depends on how, if they get to mid-season and beyond and they're still playing well, right?
Is this an evaluate after this game type of thing?
Yeah.
Because his numbers right now are really,
incredible,
really good,
yeah.
And it helps that the defense is going to give up points. As you
Week
guys
1
mentioned.
game was the most impressive for sure. Nebraska's Nebraska. Honestly, Nebraska gave that game away to them with their own stupid mistakes. And then, yes, they did not play great against a Colorado State team, but that was a rivalry game. And if anything, maybe Vegas just devalued Colorado State and, was riding the hype of Colorado. But from what I've seen from Sanders, he looks like an NFL quarterback one day, in my opinion.
He looks good. The athleticism's there.
But yeah, it all depends on if the team stays something. I think they're the best story in college football this year. I know that it's getting a little annoying with how much everyone's talking about them, but they also won 1 game last year. The fact that Deion Sanders has came in there and done that, changed this so fast, I like that aspect of it. It is fun to watch. I wish Illinois could get someone like this. Fuck.
Yeah, I mean...
But yeah, I mean, it depends on what they do these next 2 games, I would say.
If you want to bet him to win Heisman, bet him now.
What are the odds at? Do you know?
I don't.
Let
me finish this.
Sorry, go ahead.
Let me just finish this thought first. I think the main issue is that he's getting sacked 5 times a game. His team sucks. They haven't played anybody. They just got tested by Colorado State, who also sucks. If you think that Shedeur Sanders is going to go out and beat Oregon, absolutely go bet him to win the Heisman now, because you're going to get a better number now than you will after Saturday, and that number will never be better.
That's true.
But there is no way in hell, as being 21-point dogs to Oregon, and it's only going to grow, that they're going to even compete with that team.
I like that advice. That's good.
Maybe you take Colorado halftime spread, but that's the most positive spin I'll give you on Colorado this week. I loved what Deion said, too, about the Colorado State DB. I mean, he just said, whatever, it's in the past. We moved on. Travis forgave him. We forgave him. Move on. He's a kid. That was great.
You get Sanders at plus 1,800 right now.
Wow.
So if they beat Oregon, those odds are definitely coming down.
What can I get Bo Nix at?
Plus 2,500.
2,500?
Yeah.
He's just been there so long.
All right, I'm gonna go.
Is he a 5th-year player? He's got to be around there.
I think it's his 2nd year at Oregon, but he was at Auburn for so long.
Caleb Williams currently leads at plus 360. Michael Penix Jr. at plus 500. And then Quinn Ewers at plus 700. Hartman at plus 1,000. Kind of like Hartman at plus 1,000 just because they play a tough schedule, and it seems like Notre Dame hasn't had a quarterback like this in literally decades. Well, at least since Brady Quinn, even though he was a terrible NFL quarterback. But, yeah, I mean, I think those odds are always shifting because there's so many upsets. I don't think Colorado is going to be a college football playoff team, but I do think that they're way better than what Vegas and all these other national talking heads gave them credit for, in my opinion. And the only thing I disagree with Sean is I do think TCU is a solid team.
Yeah, so. I agree with you on that, Cody. TCU, granted,
they were number
the
17 on going into that game. Colorado was 20-some point underdogs in that game.
Hey, I bet TCU to cover the spread. I can't talk.
Yeah, like you don't get better by losing Quentin Johnson, that's for sure. So they're not the same team they were last year, but
And you don't get better at losing Max Duggan.
yeah.
And you don't get better losing Kendra Miller.
Oh, yeah, Kendra Miller was
They
there,
lost
you're right.
everybody.
Yeah, you're
They
right.
suck. I'm trying to be rude.
They were ranked. I mean,
They
there's no
were.
talent there.
I
They
mean,
were.
but also Iowa's ranked. And what is is Iowa a good football team?
No.
No. Doesn't matter if they're ranked.
Yeah.
Because no. Anyways, you got the hit parlay.
We're gonna
We
see
love
this
talking
weekend.
college football. We're talking for an hour.
I do have the hit parlay. We could sit here and talk about college football for 2 hours, honestly, if you let us. Tonight's hit parlay. Are we ready, Steven? Let's go. Alexander Canario getting his first career start for the Cubs. Cody Bellinger, lefties hitting 365 against the guy starting for the Pirates. And then Seiya Suzuki, who's, he's been very consistent over the last month and a half. So it goes from plus 165 boosted to plus 206. If you're on DraftKings Sportsbook, they have 25% boost for any MLB bet today. So go opt in, place your bet on this if you so want to. I'm due.
Cody is due. And also he created the pain parlay. I'm going away a little bit from the pain parlay, but this is a pain free bet. This is a pain pick.
Oh.
If it's free, it's a painless pick.
It's a painless pick.
I guess. I mean, there was pain felt by Chris Olave not scoring last night. So, I think it would just be honestly double the pain if he doesn't if this doesn't cash. But let me take you back. July 18th, 2017, the Yankees trade Tyler Clippard, Ian Clarkin, and Tito Polo, along with Blake Rutherford, to the Chicago White Sox for David Robertson, Todd Frazier, and Tommy Kahnle. Blake Rutherford then stayed with the White Sox organization until the off-season of 2022, where he elected free agency and then signed on a minor league deal with the Washington Nationals. He finally made his major league debut earlier this year and has not hit his first career home run, and he's 26 years old. Tonight is the night. There is
Revenge
no
bet.
night like tonight. Blake Rutherford is hitting his first home run off Jose Urena. There are no stats. There is nothing in the
Jose Urena's on the White Sox now?
Exactly. The only thing that I know is that I fucking hate watching this team, is that I'm forced to watch this team, and the only thing I want to do is laugh. And if Blake Rutherford hits a tank shot off Jose Urena, yes, that Jose Urena,
That Jose Urena.
I will laugh my little butt off. So we're going to go Blake Rutherford at plus 750 to hit a home run. Go get your first, Blake!
Yes, sir.
All right, that's it. We're going to talk more college football and NFL tomorrow.
Yes.
And then on
can't wait.
Thursday.
Oh, God.
Because guess what? We're degenerates and we don't stop betting. I mean, I go to sleep and I'm thinking about
I
numbers.
hope this show gave people a little bit of like a look ahead. All right. So will tomorrow be a full like just college football like our bets? Because I don't know the schedule for this one.
I think we got After Dark on Thursday, so we'll probably do college football then.
Okay.
Because there's only one game on Thursday. I think there's only a game I like. Georgia Southern, Georgia State versus
Ooh, a
Coastal.
little fun belt. All right.
Yeah, I like Georgia State. I like the Panthers.
Bets is back tomorrow at 5 p.m.
Okay.
Right. So we'll probably give you a little NFL look ahead. Probably talk about Thursday night's game, Giants and 49ers.
Are we fading the Chicago Bears?
Ooh, yeah, we are. That's the thing, though. It's like this line might get a little bit too high. I know Patrick Mahomes likes to give it to the Bears, but also, like, can it get really – I mean, like, I don't know.
He's going to kick our asses, Sean.
He's going to kick our
It's
ass.
going
It's
to
going to
hurt.
be bad.
He's consensus QB1 on like every single fantasy outlet.
We'll talk about it tomorrow at 5 p.m. That's Stephen Nicholas. That's Cody Delmendo. I'm Sean Anderson. We'll talk to you later. Goodbye.
Bye.